I'm 34 years old and I've just recently had a hip replacement 8 weeks ago. I suffer from degenerative osteoarthritis in my hips, which is the result of hip dysplasia, which went undiagnosed as a baby. As a result, I've suffered with it for the past 4 years, to the point where I did end up having to have a hip replacement. Before I went in for my surgery, I, went on loads of search engines looking for advice about hip replacements and things like that, to inform me. And also to take away my nerves, because I was obviously really nervous about it, and there wasn't really that much information on the internet for younger people. There's a lot of information out there for older people having hip replacements and things like that. So I thought, if I do a blog and put it on YouTube of my experiences, then if I can just inform one person about the whole experience and make it a bit more positive, and then at least I've done something for another person. So, like I said, I went in 8 weeks ago, and I did cry like a baby on the way into theatre. I have to admit, I hadn't allowed myself to think about it too much before I went in, because I'm a single mum, and I didn't want to be distracted with all that. But I was really nervous on the morning of the surgery, but they were lovely, absolutely lovely. They informed me of everything that was going on. They looked after me. They were just absolutely lovely, and the whole experience was really positive. I woke up after maybe about 2 hours or so in no pain whatsoever, which was the first time in a long time that I hadn't actually been in any pain with my hip. I used to get my hip would crack during the night, so I never had a full night's sleep for a long time before I went in for the operation. And there's all the other debilitating stuff that you're not able to do anymore, simple things like going shopping. I had to give up all the activities I enjoyed. I couldn't take my daughter to the park so much because walking became extremely difficult. So when I came around from the surgery and I wasn't in any pain, I was like, wow, what a relief. They took me back up onto the ward. I'd say the first night they have to check on you every hour, so you don't really get very much sleep during the first night. They come in, do your BP and check you're all right from the surgery. Going to the toilet is extremely difficult, because they come in and they bring a bedpan, and you've got to raise yourself up and try and use this bedpan. But it's not too bad. Then the next day they get you up and out of bed and walking a few steps, which is a really bizarre feeling. I could only manage about 3 or 4 steps, and then I had to get back into bed. A couple of days after my surgery, I had to have a blood transfusion because I'd lost too much blood in surgery, but they hadn't picked that up until a couple of days after, when I really started to get dead tired and lethargic, and so they gave me the blood, and I was loads better after that. I went in on a Wednesday and I came out on the following Monday, which was such a relief to get home. I have to say, it is rather boring in hospital. There's not very much to do, and you're not up and about a lot. After I got home, I had my mum come and look after me. She was here for about 6 weeks, and to be honest, I don't know what I would have done if it hadn't been for my mum moving in with me and looking after me. I really don't know what people would do who go home from hospital and they're completely on their own. It's so difficult to get around, especially in the first week. My muscles were absolutely killing me. My surgeon had said to me that the reason because of that, it was because he'd had to stretch me after the surgery a good 1.5 inches, and my muscles were obviously angry, and they were causing me muscle spasms during the night, which obviously kept me awake, and I was like, oh no, what's happening here? But he said, that was to be expected. My muscles were still in trauma, and it would take a few weeks for that to settle down, which it did settle down. I stayed in the house basically for the first couple of weeks. I didn't really go out anywhere, and then after about 3 weeks I'd start walking up and down the street and just extending that a bit further, to the point where I'd got to 6 weeks and I was walking at least 2 miles around the local park with my mum, still with my crutches, because I hadn't come off the crutches until I'd been to see my consultant. I went to see him at 6 weeks and he gave me the all clear and said everything was absolutely brilliant. I actually have a picture of my new hip. Can you see that? There you go, there it is. I think that's totally amazing. I absolutely love it. I've been showing all my friends and everything my new hip. And also, I don't know whether you can see my scar. I'll just pull this down. There. You can see my scar there. He's done such a good job across there. I haven't got a lot of feeling around where the scar area is, but to be honest, I'm not really bothered. He's done such a good job. I'm really, really impressed with it. So I just wanted to come on here and tell people that it's honestly been one of the most life-changing, positive experiences of my life. I've been off work and I've been able to, just take stock of my life and think about things, and because I have a really busy job and a busy life, and I've took a step back from that, and I've learned to walk again, which is incredible. 50, 60 years ago, these types of procedures wouldn't have even been available to us, and I just feel so lucky that I have been able to receive a new hip, and I can look forward and plan the rest of my life now. I can now go back and do the activities that I used to do before, and I can also go on and do future activities that at one point I never thought I'd be able to do until I had the hip replacement. So I just wanted to do this blog to tell people that the hip replacements are not so bad at all. Once the first week's out of the way, you're on the road to recovery then, and it's really positive. So for anybody out there who is going for a hip replacement, good luck, and I wish you all the best.